Hey gang, Scott here. Welcome to In Post and thanks for joining me. So the photo I want to share today, you saw at the tail end of In the Field earlier in the week. If you check that video out, you'll see this right at the end, the sunset out at Strawberry Hill. And the reason I want to share the photo is because the raw image is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I remember taking the photo and looking at the back of the camera going, I don't know, maybe something will come out of this. And it did. And so I want to show you the difference here, that the latitude that we have with raw files. So this is the unedited raw file, and it's pretty harsh, right? It's pretty darn terrible. Nothing to be seen, no detail really in good portions of the foreground. And the sky is almost blown out with the sun just starting to tuck behind those clouds there. This is the kind of scene that we would have done an HDR bracketing on, 5, 7, maybe 7 to 10 years ago. Any camera 7 years or so newer, the sensors are pretty good and you pick up a lot more. And so what I want to show you just briefly is, okay, here, nothing edited, and you can see super amounts of shadow. I've got clipping in both sides of this. And just two things. I'll do the landscape thing. That's already better, right? Just a change in the profile, how the raw is interpreted. That is already better. And then auto. And suddenly, oh wow, okay, there's a photo here that I could work with. And this is why I captured the photo. You're in the field. Yeah, the light's really harsh, really contrasty, but the scene overall, there's something to it. And so it's why the raw can look terrible, but the photo that can result can be really good. So great, you have that raw file. Let's go ahead and finish things up here. What are the few things that I did to the image to finish it up? Let me walk you through it. So let's get that panel on the right opened up there permanently here. So this was I did the profile, I did the auto. Let me just arrow over to the right and you'll see some more changes. A little more crispness in the scene. There's just more details going on. Things are just popping a bit more, and there was some presence done. You'll see in the masking area, right? I've got a couple of masks going on. Something here in the radial area. What am I doing here with the radial? We are doing a bit of dehazing, just cutting some of that film that was out there, right in this area here. Notice that right there, and then our sky precision mask. We're just reining in the sky a little bit, slightly darker. These are real nudges. They're very subtle. And then I finished it off in effects, so in On1 Effects to do minor bits of color adjustment and then a vignette. So let me show you the effects work. So in effects, working this from the bottom up, you can see I'm using liberal use of masks here. Dynamic contrast, adding more punch to the foreground. Color adjustment in the foreground. You'll notice it get a little warmer. Here's before and after. Just notice the ambers on the rocks. There's a lot of algae and things like that on those rocks. So having those ambers pop up a little bit more. That's just a straightforward style desert. It boosts reds, oranges, yellows. Then doing something to the sky. We'll open this one up. And this one I'll use the fall pop on. Notice in the sky, watching the sky before and after. There's just an increase in the blues a little bit, but really it's targeting those oranges and yellows, a little more sunset feel to it. And then finally the vignette on the bottom only. Notice I've masked the vignette, right? See that mask there? So notice the darkening on the corners happens in the lower part of the scene. So typical vignette, and I've done tons of videos on working with the vignette in effects, but then just masking off the top half of it. So just the bottom half is being shadowed, pushing the eye up and out into the sunset there. And so to kind of look at the before and after of the effects things. Here's before. This is what came in from Lightroom, and this is after. It just finished off the photo there. But the takeaway really is you're out on location, light's contrasty, or things look like they're too blown out, or they're too underexposed. Sometimes we rush to get a shot and we don't have the camera settings dialed in just right. Just because the raw looks terrible doesn't mean that there's not a good photo in there. If you know your composition is solid, the subjects are interesting, take the time and hit those auto buttons in whatever tool you're using to start with your raw processing, and see what's there. You may be surprised, and there may be something there that you can work with. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, drop them below. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.